Wait a minute. And now you're good.
All righty, thank you. Want to call the 2021 annual meeting to order. It's the 45th annual meeting of Heritage Lake Property Owners Association. If we could do the national anthem, pledge to the allegiance, we'll try that, please. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to
and to the
the
republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible,
with liberty and
justice.
Thank you, everyone. That's a little hard to do on Zoom, but I think it was well worth it. Let's see, we will follow the Robert's Rules of Order the best I can to get there. I'm going to ask that last year's minutes from last year's annual meeting forego those minutes, and we'll just accept them the way they were. And we'll move right to the report of the officers, which I'll start first. I'd first like to thank all of the committees, groups, and clubs for your efforts towards the care and management of our community. The monthly and annual committee reports give us a view into the enormous amount of work that the volunteers in the community do for the betterment of our resources and our members. The volunteer contributions do not end with the committees. We also have Neighborhood Watch, Garden Club, Quilt and Stitch Club, Heritage Heartland Homemakers, Heritage Lake Emergency Preparedness Team, Heritage Lake Activities Club, with all fostering friendship, community, and contributions. Unless you're a member of one of these committees or groups, you probably don't realize how many great ideas, raising monies, and hours and work are donated to the POA. Throughout our volunteering community, I truly do not know where we would be without all of you. So thanks so much for everything you've done to make our community great. I also has knowledge, experience, and energy to share with these folks in the community. Please reach out to the board, the office, or any committee or group, and they'd be happy to include you in their group. I can't say that enough, that we without the volunteers in our community would not be what we are today. I'd also like to recognize Heritage Lake Community Services for bringing information and communication to our members through the highlights, newsletters, phone directory, and now the new website dedicated to the cause and helping keep our community informed. Rick Miller has taken over the HLCS work and has brought new perspective and energy that has significantly grown in electronic method of communications. Rick, I want to thank you on behalf of all the membership for taking already a great service and growing it in such a way to reach even more members. Thanks so much, Rick. It's greatly appreciated.
Thank you, sir. I just, I want to make sure I don't let Harold Pato down. He set the foundation.
You haven't let him down. You're reaching the same bar he achieved. So thank you so much. And it's really helped our communication effort quite a bit. Thank you. Along with all our volunteers contributing to the Heritage Lake POA staff, led by our POA manager, Ken Rozelle, who works hard and supports our members, our resources, and the work it takes to take care of all of our amenities. Everyone constantly goes above and beyond the call of duty to ensure that they are responsive to the issues that come up all hours, day and night. Thank you for being so responsive, tireless, and helpful for those who reach out to you. Thank you, Ken, and your group. Please thank all of them for the entire board and the community, please. Serving on the board takes a lot of time and energy, countless hours, of which, new page, sorry. are outside of the meeting. We had several big projects that took extraordinary efforts to get them to the point where we are now. And without preservation, the extreme time commitments made by the members of this board, none of these projects would have been possible. And I'll give you a few of the projects that we did in 2020 and 2019. The Covenants Change campaign. This board, with the help of the election committee co-chairs Jim and Deb Muhlenbein, who I want to thank profusely, worked harder than ever, and took advantage of many new strategies to support the voting for the proposed 2019-2020 changes of our covenants. The effort was shared by the entire board. We provided audio and documentation files better to explain the issues surrounding the proposed change. We also introduced voting incentives in the form of gift card raffles for all of those who to vote. We also had a much greater presence at the community events in an effort to answer questions, discuss, and get people to vote. The campaign surpassed the votes received in previous campaigns. Unfortunately, the vote did not pass. And I do want to take time to thank everyone, the election committee, the board, and everybody's hard hours and time they put into the vote. It was 18 months trying to get this covenant change happen. Unfortunately, it did not pass. The Marina Rebuilt. This is perhaps the biggest piece of work that the board has been involved with. Jim Johnson, Paul Forbes, and Ken Rozelle led the effort, which included hundreds of hours of work with contractors, accountants, lawyers, consultants, and ad hoc committee, as well as town hall sessions with the community and question and answer opportunity at board meetings. Our community now has beautiful functional building as a centerpiece for the community with the potential of a restaurant soon, which was a great undertaking. And I do want to thank Paul and Ken and Jimmy for their efforts. I know they spent a lot of extra time on this the past 2 years, 3 years really for some, but thank you so much. Major projects completed in 2020. Addition to the maintenance building, this was performed by Ken's staff on site. Addition to the maintenance building, maintenance property manager was in charge of that. The Point Shelter Clubhouse Complex, maintenance property manager did that, Ken. Mulch added to the nature trail, trimmed trees at the campgrounds and common areas, painted bottoms of main and baby pool, maintenance. Ken's group was responsible for that. We also are just completed, I think this morning, correct me if I'm wrong, a major computer upgrade, which makes our computer system bigger, better, and faster. And I want to thank Grant personally for his leadership of implementing this project. Grant, thank you so much for the time and the hours and the hard work you did getting that going. Thank you so much. Okay, 2020 performed by contractors. This is stuff that was contracted out to contractors complete, which was the marina, the shelter electric at the clubhouse complex, gravel lot at Gettysburg pull-off, fiber optics at the Marina POA office, and activity center and the pool, which is a major project that was complete. Our major purchases in 2020 were the gig telephone system, the POA office, Marina pool activity center. Endeavor did that for us. Projected projects for 2021 is boat parking at the marina. And if I can say that once, I'll say it twice or 1,000 times. That's probably our biggest project that needs to be undertaken for 2021. And that'll be additional parking at the marina.
How are you going to do that?
Pardon me? Rick, did you say something? I'm sorry.
I think that was just background noise. I've muted it.
Okay, all right. We also had fish stocking for major purchases in 2020. Evaluate potential for parking and a fishing pier. These are all projects that the board has discussed and are going to be working on in 2021. I'd also like to recognize the staff in 2020 and thank them for all their efforts and dedication. Manager Ken Rozelle, office staff Deborah Napier and April Land, and our maintenance staff Sean Flanagan, Damon Tyson, John Meyer, and Michael Maeve Gisar. Is that right, Ken?
Gisara, that's correct.
Gisara, thank you. Okay. The next few years will be the most significant long-term financial challenge we face as a community, as are the endeavor supported by both the membership and the board in developing, upgrading our facilities such as the new marina, the prospects of a restaurant, new playground equipment, and so on. I believe, though, period of the increased fees that we provide us this expansion for all members to appreciate and can be proud of. As of 2021 board prepares to take over, I'd like to remind everyone of what it takes to work together for the betterment of our membership, our resources, and our association. We need to be effective. We need to effectively communicate our goals, our issues, and our ideas to determine together what the future holds. Thank you to the 2020 POA board directors. I can't say that enough. Thanks to you guys for helping me and the community make this a better place for all of us to live. Thank you very much. They are Tom Novak, Paul Forbes, AJ Stafford, Grant Feldheck, Steve Hampton, John Reedy, one more. Who's that? Jim Johnson. That's who it is. Okay, it's my sincere honor to serve this community with you. My sincere thank you to all of you for a great year. Thank you so much. We're gonna have a report now from our treasurer, Jim Johnson. He's going to give you our numbers from 2020 and where he sees us going in 2021, I believe. So Jim, you're up.
Thanks, Rick. The budget and balance sheet and all the information that's included in the booklet, the printed matter, I'm not going to go through all of that because you can all see that. But I do want to give just a quick preliminary treasurer's report for year end. And we use the term preliminary because our accountants have not yet completely certified what's going to happen in terms of our net gain. But for December, we had accrued income of $65,000. Our expenses were $96,200, and we had a negative balance of $30,766. That's very normal for a year end. Our short-term cash was $42,184, and our total investments to CDs, money markets, and accounts were $476,959. And in terms of, I guess, prognosis for the future, the biggest issue really was the.
Hold on, I'll mute it. She came in.
Should I go on?
Yeah, go ahead. I got to find her.
Okay, from a financial perspective, the marina has gone entirely to plan. In fact, I'm going to say it's gone better than planned. The deficits, for example, that we have at the end of the year we've actually got those through February, but then comes the assessments, and then comes the boat stickers, which are the lifeblood of us financially. And the assessments are pretty standard, what we expect, but the activity with the boats has been incredible. And it has put us in a position where not only have we gone to plan, we've exceeded plan. We're going to have our debt paid off far sooner than we expected. We're going to be able to focus on rebuilding of our capital far sooner than we expected. And we're going to have it all done far sooner than expected. If we hold on to our austerity and our budget planning for the next 3 years, I believe that 5 years from now, we will have our capital completely rebuilt. That's almost 4 years before what was projected. That's a good thing. I'd like to wrap, and I'm not going to do an Academy Award speech right now, but I am going to give what I think is just needs to be some thanks for me personally. This is my last address as the treasurer of the organization. And I want to thank, in particular, Jim and Deb Muhlenbein and Chris Schaefer for the work that we did in our efforts to try to put forward the covenant project. You folks, it was awesome working with you. It was just a great opportunity for me also, and to become closer friends with you. I also want to thank Brandt Construction. It is not possible for everybody to understand what Brandt did to help us, both in concessions on fees and also in allowing us to purchase things directly that normally go through the vendor. Thank you, Brandt Construction. I also want to thank everybody on the board, Steve, John, Grant, AJ, for your unique and invaluable experience and perspectives. And I also thank you for your friendship. And Tom, for your being a sounding board for me, how many times, for your discernment at a detail level, so many years, so many things. And I want to thank you, Rick Huddleston, for being a great sounding board for me and a leader with an uncanny ability to be able to keep us all focused, yet at the same time to give our heads rein to operate within the spheres of things that we were supposed to do and our project duties and leadership roles. Not lastly, but second to last for sure, Ken Rozelle. He leads the operations of our organization, but it is impossible to overstate what he did on the Marina project. He was down there swinging hammers, spinning screwdrivers,
Jim, you're breaking up on your audio.
carrying things off trucks, all the different things. Is that any better?
It may be.
Have you lost me?
You're breaking up pretty bad. Your signal went south on you.
You have to me. Where are we now?
Okay, you're back.
I want to thank Ken for all the unbelievable work he did beyond what his job is. Finally, to Forbes. Paul and I have been joined at the hip from both the beginning of the project, me through the financing, and him through the end. I can't tell you how many times I backed out of my driveway and said, "Where are you going, Forbes?" He says, "Got to go to the marina." And it's been going on for more than a year. Thank you, Paul, for all the details, keeping all that stuff in alignment and making this marina project a success. Thank you very, very, very much. And also thank you for our friendship. Thanks to everybody in our community for supporting me in the last 6 years. It's been an honor. And goodbye.
Rick, you need to unmute.
Jim, I want to thank you for your 6 years. They were a pleasure working with you for those 6 years, and the dedication that you put towards the board is greatly appreciated. You will be sorely missed from this board next year. Thank you. Okay, with that, I'll make an announcement about Zoom. I want to thank Rick Miller for all his dedication, helping us this past year do all our Zoom meetings, muting people, and taking care of everything. Rick, thank you so much for that. With Zoom, as you could tell with Jim Johnson, sometimes Zoom does have problems like we experienced with Jim. And I wanted to mention that before we got to the committee reports, because if somebody's signal's not strong enough or whatever, they might drop out, and Rick's in control of muting and taking care of all that. Rick, thank you so much. One other announcement I want to make is to the membership and everyone is that we as a community have changed the way we're going to operate in 2021 as far as lake and the lake rules. Anyone that goes and gets a permit to drive a motorized vehicle on the lake will be required to take a test. It is online now on our Heritage Lake POA website. You can take a test. It's an open book test, and you need to pass the test in order to get your card to drive a motorized vehicle on the lake, April of 2021. That test is available right now. We do have a kiosk at the office to take the test, and 2 at the marina. But if you go online now, you're going to avoid long lines at the marina when you go to get your stickers. If you could do that and get your certificate and take it when you get it, there's what you will get. Thank you, Rick, for putting that up. But that's only a few changes in the lake rules. I challenge all members to read the 2021 lake rules. There are some very significant changes in the lake rules, such as fines, suspensions, those type of things. If you're interested in the lake, you need to read those rules, take the test, and I encourage everyone to try to do it from their home to avoid long lines when they come and get their stickers. With that, we'll move right to the committee reports. Rick,
Did you want to call Forbes first?
Did I forget him? How did I do that? Before we go to committee reports, we'll have Paul Forbes give his insight on the marina building itself and maybe some other information. Go ahead, Paul.
Thank you, Rick. It's not the first time you've forgotten me. Just joking there. We talk quite often, so he probably just figures I'm going to chime in when I need to chime in. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to the board for having the confidence in me to chair the Marina project. It's been a year, and actually it's been 3 years, but this year was quite interesting, a lot of fun. We opened the new marina on Memorial Day. To put that in perspective, after demolishing the old marina, we had to wait 6 weeks to start because there was a complaint given to the Attorney General by one of our members thinking that we didn't have the right to do what we were doing. So that put us away 6 weeks into the project. Once the building was framed, excuse me, once the building was framed, the pandemic hit. Keep in mind, some of the workers that worked on the marina could make more money sitting at home on unemployment than they could driving all the way out to Heritage Lake from the east side of Indianapolis to hammer nails. So that was quite an obstacle for the contractors. During the design build operation, which for those of you who don't know what that means, is the project was a design built project. We never knew what we were going to do up until the time the plans were finalized. And then once the plans were finalized, every day we walked through that marina, there were changes made, because you can't foresee every little aspect of a building that size. So during the design build, changes were made, which takes more time. Not to mention, all this happened during the winter. So keep all those things in perspective when I tell you we opened Memorial Day. What a feat. That was phenomenal. If any of you ever spent any time remodeling your house or building a house or knowing somebody that built a project, it never opens on time. The building came in as budgeted, as Jim suggested. The kitchen equipment and the furniture came in as approved budgeted figures. And there were many, many people who worked tirelessly and generously, but I'd like to recognize a few. At the risk of repeating some of these names that have already been suggested, first and foremost, Jim Johnson. He was there every step of the way from the beginning, from the conception, and he kept us grounded on the financial side. A lot of arguments, a lot of thumps, a lot of headaches. It wasn't all pretty, but he kept us grounded. We could not have pulled this off without his financial knowledge and persistence. You've already heard from him that this project is going to be it's going to be paid for a lot sooner than we ever projected. And he should be very, very proud of that. Secondly, Ken Rozelle and his staff, from the beginning until now, he and his staff worked overboard. Everybody knows how hard Ken works, but his staff came to bat. There was always extra work. We had new computer systems. We had new everything, not only the marina. And boy, did that marina shine. That thing just ran like a clock. And I don't know how many of you have ever been in a new business venture. Well, that was amazing. I take my hat off to all you people. That was amazing. Oh, by the way, we had the highest marina sales ever in a new marina. Lastly, I'd like to thank all the board members for your support. There were times when I forgot, as we were entrenched in all the details, I forgot about my communication to the board several times. And the members on the board continuously wheeled me in, reminding me I was not alone. I so appreciate all your support. On the end of that list, I want to mention Brandt Construction. I have built restaurants, I have built homes, and I have built other commercial projects. I have never worked with a better contractor. First, Joe Dyer, he was the superintendent. What an even-keeled representative of that company. All of the ups and downs, the wrongs and rights, and he stayed even, he stayed calm, and he just never made anybody feel that they weren't part of this project. And again, I've been around a lot of superintendents, and they can get pretty pushy, and they can try and keep you out of their way, and they can do all they want to do just to not let you be part of the project. He was always open arms. It was just like being part of a team with Joe. And last but not least, I'd like to mention Todd Mattingly and Harold Sanderson and Andy Hine. These are members of our community. Two of them, Todd and Harold, happen to own Brandt Construction. Andy Hine happened to be the creator of all the drawings, creator of all the concepts, creator of all the colors, everything. He was the architect. And those three guys were just amazing. I'll give you one example. I walked into the marina one day after the windows were all put in. Siding was all finished. The sun was shining. And I looked at these guys and I said, Joe, I think we need a window right over there. I don't know how we missed that, but I think we need a window. Lois is not going to be able to see the gas tanks. She's not going to be able to see the boats coming in. And under normal circumstances, I was ready for a fight. I just figured these guys are never going to want to change this. 4 weeks later, the window was put in. And that brings me to this list. Jim had suggested the amount of help that Brandt Construction gave this community. And I'd like to list those things, some of those things, just so that you know where they came from, what they've done, and how much they involve themselves in this community. The on-site trailer for the POA usage to train our people with computers and everything else, they paid for. Removal of the trees for the beach extension on Brandt. Additional sand for the beach extension on Brandt. New landscape blocking retaining wall at the restroom area on Brandt. Slat wall display in the retail area. If you've not been to the marina yet, look at the slat walls when you walk in there. Gorgeous on Brandt. The coffee station with the upper and lower cabinets on Brandt. Building bump out to the house bait room. Originally, the house bait room was going to be part of the indoor marina. It's now in its own bump out on Brandt. Additional window, on Brandt. They changed the kitchen floor from a polished concrete to epoxy on Brandt. They added FRP on all the kitchen walls. That's that shiny material that you can spray with a hose, wipe down with bleach, and it never sees the drywall on Brandt. Added fan rough-ins and additional electrical outlets. All the additions that we thought of as we're walking through, all the little things. We should have an outlet here. We should have an outlet there. We should have an outlet up here. Hey, what about the spotlight? What about this? What about that? On Brandt. Added the second floor full stairway in lieu of what was originally designed as spiral staircases on Brandt. They changed the bathrooms from single stall to double stalls on Brandt. I want to thank all the people I've mentioned. I want to thank the entire community, the people that stop by every day, the people that had just a little bit of help on one day, a lot of help on the next day, all the people that planted, all the people that washed windows. Thank you so much. What a great enterprise. What a great year it's been. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Paul, and thanks for your dedication to this building project. Thank you so much from the entire board. Now we'll go to the committee reports. First one would be A&E, Joe Mineta. Hello, Joe, welcome.
Is Joe with us?
There we go. Hi, I'm Joe Mineta. I'm co-chair of the A&E committee with April Land. We had a number of people that worked with us this year. Paul Forbes was our board liaison. His help on a lot of things was invaluable. We had 5 other members, Ben Fuches, Shannon Lee, Curtis Talbot, Zach Goss, and Sharon Peoples. All gave up their time to help evaluate projects this last year. So some of the things that we did, we made a couple changes to try to improve communication and to strengthen some of our building policies. So with the help of the office staff, we now send out emails to the residents of our agenda for the upcoming meeting. With, again, Paul's help, we got put in place inspections of our building foundations to ensure that they're located properly and properly installed. As a committee, we developed a project-specific checklist that we use now during the evaluation process, just to ensure consistency during our reviews. And we increased some of our requirements for documentation for building construction, so that we make sure that they meet the Putnam County and Indiana state building codes. So just summing up, it was a busy year for us. We had 186 actual projects. Just enumerating them, we approved 60 houses, 9 additions, 3 attached garage, 13 detached garages, 16 decks, 26 docks, 12 kind of mobile boat lifts, 12 covered boat lifts, permanent, 26 fences, 2 pools, 4 gazebos, and 3 front porches. And one solar electric panels. So it was a busy year for us, but thanks to everybody's help that was on the committee and everybody that supplied us with the information we needed to make the evaluations. It seemed to run pretty smoothly.
Joe, thank you so much. It sounded like you had a very busy year. And if you could thank your entire committee from the board for your service this year, thank you so much.
All right, thanks.
All righty. Says Audit Committee, Jim Johnson's going to read a report from D. Haven. Jimmy?
Unmute, Jim. There you go.
Rick, when I left home, I did not bring that thing with me. Oh no.
Oh, your audio is really tanked on you, Jim.
It's like 6 pages.
If you didn't bring it, Jim,
Rick?
we can. Yes.
Yeah, the audit report was very, very good. I just left it on my desk when I left home.
Not a problem. We'll just skip that and cover it next time, Jimmy. We'll work around that. Don't worry about it. Thank you. Campground, Richard Stevens.
Rick, I cannot hear you.
Okay, said, can you hear me now, Rick?
No, I mean Rick Stevens. I cannot hear him.
I can't either.
There, he's connecting. Give him a second. Well, we may have lost him altogether now. I think we did. You might want to come back to him, Rick.
Okay, we'll come back to him later. Cleanup, Sarah Lackner.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right.
Welcome, Sarah.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Let's see. The cleanup committee had a very slow start in 2020. With the events that were scheduled, COVID took a hit on the events that should have taken place in April and May. The trash pickup day, the spring garage sales, and also the Talks Away day were some of the events that we had to cancel. But we were able to pick back up in August and have our second annual shred event, which again was a wonderful success with our group. We helped about 35 residents get rid of the papers and the documents in their house. We hope to continue this event for this year and also the years to come. Are you guys still able to hear me?
Yeah, somebody's
Okay, sorry.
somebody's tapping on their phone.
Sorry, just making sure. Our clean sweep that we had in the fall, which was also our last event of the year, was a wonderful turnout because the May event was canceled. We had a total of 75 residents who donated and got rid of their scrap metal, their trash, and also their junk. And I wanted to add too that we had wonderful help from Jack's trash service. This was my first year as the chairperson of the cleanup committee, and I cannot say a big, huge thank you to the amazing volunteers that made this whole group work. We had a solid group of 12 members who were always there to work hard and also get the job done. I was very nervous whenever I took on this task of being the chairperson, but I had great help with the existing members, and I could not have done it without their help. The cleanup committee meets every second Wednesday of the month at 7 p.m. in a large conference room at the POA office. I always say that we are always looking for new members who want to keep and help the Heritage Lake community a nice place to continue to live. I want to say that our meeting for 2021 will be held March 10th, next month. And also we have some dates already scheduled to have the garage sales, April 29th to May 1st, the Talks Away Day, and also the spring clean sweep, May 8th, the garage sales for the fall, September 9th to the 11th. And then the next weekend after that, the 18th, is the clean sweep. And that's all I got.
Well, thanks for your report, Sarah. Thank you very much. And please thank your committee for their efforts. And like Sarah said, this community would not be able to function without all the volunteers. Thanks so much, Sarah.
Thank you. Have a good day, everybody.
All righty. We'll move right to the election committees next. Is Jim Muhlenbein ready to announce the new board members?
Rick, this is, he is here in the conference room. I'll yield my screen to him, but he's whispering in my ear that he normally goes last on your agenda.
Well, I'd rather make him go last. Let's do that.
Okay.
That'll be fine. We'll come back to Campground and Jim Muhlenbein last. Floyd Township Fire says Jeff Brooks or Brian Irvin. Anybody here from Floyd Township Fire?
I did not get a report.
Okay.
No report.
Garden Club, Anita Johnson, G.
You are muted, Anita.
There we go. Anita Johnson from the Garden Club. I'm going to read this. 2020 was a pretty quiet year for the Garden Club. Most of our events were canceled because of COVID. We did continue to maintain the flower beds at the clubhouse, the activity center, the marina, and all the entrance signs around the lake. We were also able to make a significant contribution to the community by planning and planting the marina landscape. When we did this, we chose to use mostly native plants for the project to support the native ecosystem. Native plants are really well adapted to our area. They're a lot less finicky. They tend to like our clay soil. They don't need a lot of special care in terms of soil amendments and fertilizers and pesticides and water. They don't need a lot of water. So they're also host plants for native birds, bugs, and butterflies. So even small plantings like this at the marina of native plants can really help our local ecosystem. And the reason we did this is we're hoping that this project is a springboard for a larger conversation about using natives in private gardens around the lake. We could not have done this project without community members and club members that showed up on a really cold, windy fall day to get the plants in the ground. And those volunteers were the Muhlenbeins, the Novaks, the Forbes, Don and Donna Wilson, Mary Kate Bunch, Lisa Helterbrand, Owen Ramsey, Nina Stebbins, Ken Rozelle, and Lynn Forsgren. When we were doing this, we ran into a problem, and the maintenance guys stepped up with the heavy lifting and building the raised beds in front of the marina entrance, and it looks far better than our original plan, so we really appreciate that. The other thing that I want to report on is the Pollinator wildflower gardens in Lincoln Hills Park. We started with one. The community really has Kurt Stewart to thank for this beautiful addition. Last year, the bed is with orange and brown gaillardias, and then Kurt created a second bed that will have even more plants for butterflies and bees, both great pollinators. So we should really thank Kurt for all the work he did on this project. You'll see more of us probably next year since COVID's kind of waning, but that's my report, and I'm standing by it.
Rick, you're muted. There you go.
I got it. It just took me a second. Nita, thanks for your report, and thank your committee, please, for their great work. And the flowers do look great all around the place. So thank you so much. We'll go to the government committee, Dick Werner, for his report.
Hello there. Thanks, Rick.
Welcome, Dick.
I just want to report on the top actions from Putnam County officials and local offices, which include the Putnam County EMS, COVID-19 response by Putnam County leaders, and consideration of Clear Creek Conservancy District plant expansion at the Heritage Lake Dam to comply with item mandate to minimize or eliminate high discharge levels seen in recent years after extreme rain events. To expand on the EMS, the Putnam County Emergency Medical Services formally began operating on January 1, 2020, after Putnam County officials agreed to take over the fledgling nonprofit Operation Life, which the county had been subsidizing in the amount of $400,000 for several years. Operation Life had consolidated 3 county-based locations into one, which had created increased response times, especially for remote areas of the county, such as the Heritage Lake community, to an average response time of 22 minutes. Additionally, Operation Life had significant troubles keeping more than 2 crews equipped and staffed to serve the county. For these reasons, our county commissioners, led by President Rick Woodall, embarked on a plan to take over the Operation Life business by mutual agreement. As of this writing, PCEMS has reestablished 24/7 operation by 3 crews at the former 3 locations, Greencastle, Cloverdale, and Bainbridge, as well as procuring additional equipment for a 4th backup emergency vehicle. While the costs to the county have come in well above the estimates made by Operation Life officials, county officials have managed to make financial ends meet. More importantly, emergency response times to remote areas has improved to 10 minutes or less, well within national averages and great for our community. Since PCEMS is a government agency, they can now work with state government to collect unpaid fees amounting to more than $1 million by garnishing tax refund checks of persons in arrears. Operation Life, being a nonprofit, had no authority to do so. So hopefully this year will be better financially for the PCEMS. The COVID pandemic also contributed to budget overruns. And so again, hopefully 2021 will show better financial position. The COVID-19 issues were delayed in reaching Putnam County compared to more populous counties in the state. We were one of the few counties that remained in safer blue and yellow risk status, yet due to an abundance of caution on part of county officials, the courthouse was locked down in April and May. The pandemic surged in late summer, early fall to affect county risks and restrictions. County government offices were closed to walk-in traffic for a time in the fall, but now are reopened with some restrictions in place, such as limited access, screening, mandates to mask up, and distance in any government properties. The Putnam County Health Board reports that case rates and positivity continue to fall. Vaccinations in the county are increasing and more locations are opening. However, staffing these locations may be an issue, and the Health Board encourages volunteers to step up and help, even just checking folks in and helping with administrative duties. Putnam County Community Emergency Response Teams, known as PC CERT, are now involved with assisting this effort. And Heritage Lake's own Chris and Darcy Schaefer lead the effort from our community to assist PC CERT in vaccination needs. If you're willing and able to donate to assist, contact the PA office to connect with Chris and Darcy. Another item close to the hearts of our community is road conditions. Due to COVID, our commissioners worked with the Highway Department to conserve resources after the state of Indiana announced cuts to counties in gas tax credits, initially projected to be cut by 30% for the year. The entire highway budget comes from these gas tax credits. This spawned a decision by County Highway to eliminate all chip and seal projects scheduled for 2020. And all Heritage Lake roads are chip and seal projects. So all projects for our community were postponed. The final reported shortfall to PC and to Putnam County and gas tax revenue came in at less than 10%. So I will be continuing to push the county commissioners and highway to provide badly needed resurfacing. An update to this report, since I had to get this in like 3 weeks ago, I attended a meeting on the 18th, just 9 days ago, that set out the plan for county highway work this year. And so what the highway department essentially has said is that the roads that were postponed from last year in Heritage Lake will be done this year. And there is a map of our community with the roads highlighted that will be addressed, and they're highlighted in colors pertaining to years. So this year we will get some roads in the Jefferson Valley area redone. And they're not just chip and seal, but double chip and seal, which means they will first grind down the surface, the entire width to width of the road, and then basically restore the road from original. So it's not just the typical tar and gravel dropped. So one other related item is that the highway department continues to wait for readiness of 6 new dump trucks, replacing the entire fleet. The delivery has been delayed by the dealer providing the trucks. Heritage Lake Marina reconstruction became a county government issue, but only after the new construction was well underway. County Commissioner's attorney, James Inslee, initiated notice that commercial zoning was required in light of the fact that a public restaurant became desired as part of the plan. The county had waived this requirement in past years for the sale of gas, bait, and incidentals. Ultimately, the zoning request was approved, and we may have a restaurant here in the near future. Just want to last say the government committee reports are delivered at the monthly POA meetings and posted on the HLCS.online website. Monthly government committee meetings occur on the 4th Thursday of each month at 10 a.m. in the clubhouse. Thanks.
Dick, thanks for your report, and thanks for your taking this challenge and going to all these meetings and reporting back to us. Thank you very much from the board.
My pleasure.
Okay, we'll go to now HLCS Rick Millers, who I have next up.
Thank you, sir. I'd like to start with just a brief review of accomplishments we've had at HLCS this year. We started out the year January 1st. We developed and announced our new website, hlcs.online. And we've been continuing throughout the year to add content, change it, improve it if we can, including just this past week, we added a new page just for the Heritage Lake Campgrounds. Sean Pingleton's the blogger or contributor for content on that page, so keep your eye on that one. About the same time or soon after, we created a mobile application of the website and made that available through the Apple Store and Google Play Store. All you have to do is search for HLCS Mobile and download the free app to your mobile device. And then about the same time, we launched the HLCS news group on Facebook. And the noteworthy thing about all of these things is it's helping me to deliver the mission statement for HLCS, which very simply stated is we want to deliver Heritage Lake news the way you want it, when you want it. And we recognize the shortcomings of a monthly newsletter. By the time you get it, it's sometimes full of old news. And so with these new tools, we're trying to give you news as it's happening, certainly more often. We created blogging on that website, and we recruited several contributors. I didn't list them, and I won't for fear of leaving someone out, but they're on our About page. You're welcome to see their smiling faces and photos there, but they have the ability to share blogs widely on the website and post those easily over to Facebook news groups and other social media. We provided our highlights to online viewers through a new flipbook format that it's very attractive to online viewers, we think, and the feedback's been very good on it. We also altered the format of our highlights, making it much more like a magazine. That was the goal. We're still somewhat constrained. I cannot print edge to edge. The equipment for that is just wildly cost prohibitive, but we got close and I'm satisfied and feedback's been good. We've seen a huge response from our postings on the HLCS news group on Facebook, as well as the other two popular groups that we frequently post to. And many of these postings link our readers directly back to our website for more or detailed information. The response to all of that has been wildly favorable. So that's just a few of the things that we did. I want to talk briefly about our readers, though. Every month we print between 400 and 600 newsletters, depending on the demand. When the blue boxes get empty, I print more. But we also see more than 600 views of the newsletter each month, and it peaks. Summertime, May of 2020, for example, we saw 866 people view the highlights online. So the highlights page is clearly our most popular page. In 2020, it had 3,542 views by a lot of different people. And we also learned that more than half of the people who view the highlights on the website use a mobile device, like a smartphone or a tablet. So that's fairly important. When we develop a page, it's just important to make sure it's viewable and usable on a mobile device. Our website, though, in general, had 16,897 visitors in 2020. For a new website, I think those are remarkable numbers. And we look forward to 2021, of course. A real brief note about our advertisers. We can't do what we do. Just paying the lease on the copier for printing alone is a huge cost. But we see our list of loyal advertisers grow a little bit each month. They make everything we do possible. And a thank you to them is inadequate, but sincerely offered. So please consider patronizing them. A brief summary of my annual report. In spite of the COVID pandemic, we think it's been a very busy and successful year for HLCS. We're proud of our achievements and proud that most of them have been really well received by our readers. I have to give a sincere thanks to HLPOA. Everyone there has been just remarkably helpful, cooperative, and given contributions of news and information that is just real important. I think what we have, HLCS and the POA, is a true partnership, and I'm very, very grateful for that. Goals for 2021, brief and simple. Using the tools that we've put in place in 2020, we hope to continue refreshing the look, the content, and the quality of our communications. That the goal, of course, is to make HLCS a reliable source of communications for our community and the main source of communications. So we're looking forward to a safe and fun 2021. Thank you.
Rick, thank you for everything you and your people that help you have done. If you would thank them for us from the board, please. And thank you so much. You've improved this to get the information out to us sooner. Thank you much for all your efforts. Thank you. Helnack, Heather Ludlow, reporting.
Hey guys, this is Chastity Catney. I'm actually going to report for Heather, and she's absent today. I'm stepping into her role as chair as well, as she steps down from role after several years of service. She will continue, though, to be part of the committee moving forward. So first and foremost, we at Helnack would like to thank the wonderful Heritage Lake community, the board, Ken Rozelle, and the team, Deb and April in the office, and the entire Marina staff. Without the support of each of you, we would not be able to do what we do. So in 2020 was an unprecedented year, no doubt, and very challenging for all of us. We as a group had to go back to the drawing board several times in order to make things work from a safety standpoint. I'm proud of our team as we were able to reimagine and reconfigure events with our community's well-being in mind. It took a lot of hard work behind the scenes, but the members of Helnack rose to the occasion and were able to continue to provide several amazing events during the course of 2020. We hope it did add some joy in your lives at the time where it was likely most needed. Events like Pictures with Santa this year, adding a live reindeer to the mix, our annual Easter egg hunt, which was reimagined as the Easter Bunny hopped on our Floyd Township Fire Department fire truck to take a spin around the lake and wish the community a happy Easter. The Heritage Lake Fall Festival was sadly postponed this year due to the rising COVID cases and overall safety. But we're looking forward to having the opportunity to bring that back this year. The 2020 boat poker run was the biggest and most successful yet that we've had to date. And of course, cannot forget the 4th of July fireworks. This past year, we were actually able to successfully secure a local favorite, Mortonville Fireworks, as our new vendor, and it was an amazing show. So during the course of 2020, we were able to also continue to contribute to several worthy community causes, including the North Putnam Photo Club, North Putnam Touchdown Club, and the Heritage Lake Scholarship Fund, just to name a few. Looking ahead, we're excited for 2021 and hope to see the world return to some normalcy. We look forward to continuing our annual events with the possibility of adding some additional ones. So Helnack is a strictly volunteer committee and isn't possible without the time and effort of our amazing volunteers. So we'd love for you to join us at the next meeting to see if we would be a good fit for you. Meetings are held once a month, generally on the first Wednesday of each month at 6:30, but are subject to change. Helnack posts the meeting times and dates via our Facebook page each month. Donations are always accepted and greatly appreciated, as this helps us to continue to provide free events to our community. If you'd like to donate to Helnack, the scholarship funds or fireworks, you can earmark as to which fund you want to donate to and drop that off at the POA office or contact myself or Heather directly and we can arrange for pickup. So here's for 2021. Thank you.
Jazz, thanks very much for your report, and also thank your committee from the board, please, for your hard work. Thank you so much.
Will do. Thank you.
All righty, be good. Lake Committee, Kent Hoops is what I have up next.
Can you all hear me?
Gotcha.
All right, good deal. The Lake Committee would like to reach out and thank each of the POA members that were able to participate in some of our events, as well as the POA Board of Directors for your continued support of our committee for our efforts during 2020. Your support of our committee has allowed us to coordinate and provide the following benefits to our community. The Lake Committee, with a dedicated interest into the quality of Heritage Lake for nearly 2 decades, with the assistance of the POA Board of Directors, have approved and paid for fish stocking in Heritage Lake. These efforts were put in place after research and recommendations from not only Indiana, Ohio, Illinois, Minnesota, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Michigan Departments of Natural Resources, but also in concert with benefits recommended from Aquatic Control. Our initial efforts were due to the influx of shad species. Today, we continue to look at invasive species, which include but are not limited to still shad, as well as the snail population in our lake. We feel confident that our continued efforts are seeing a positive result. We are excited to see our efforts validated with our comprehensive lake water study and fish study survey that was performed in 2020. Those results are available on the HLPOA website. Our lake continues to be a healthy fishery, and the Lake Committee, along with our POA board, will continue our efforts to make sure this health continues. The stocking efforts have included in the years past and as recent as 2020 as red ear, the shell cracker fish, to try to curb the shells or the snails in the lake, the hybrid bass, striped bass, and walleye that have been working tirelessly on our shad population. These stocking efforts are first and foremost to combat the invasive species in Heritage Lake, and are certainly not for the benefit of the sport of fishing, but that is simply a byproduct. The Lake Committee looks at the safe habitat of the lake first, and always first. We were approached to be a sounding board related to the 2020 new marina project and provided a substantial donation towards the initial costs. We look forward to the summer of 2021 to continue what the marina has to offer all the POA members. We provide Heritage Lake merchandise at the marina. We have styles that are reviewed annually, and we are excited to announce that we will be providing a 50th anniversary shirt this summer for the Heritage Lake consumers. Our committee has used our funds for lake improvements, including but not limited to swim rafts at the clubhouse beach, 5 security boats, marina bumpers, the common property dock bumpers, playground equipment, as well as over 120 lake buoys that have been purchased. Your Lake Committee recently purchased an additional 20 buoys that included a lighting device on the top. It is our hope that this lighting feature will continue to reduce the buoy damage and increase the safety for dusk to dawn powercraft operation. More buoys are on the agenda for 2021, as well as lights. We review and recommend and assist in lake weed control recommendations in concert with Aquatic Control. We work with Quality Control for recommendations of areas related to fish habitat and spawning protection. We have been instrumental in developing the plan for weed control to start post-spawn of many of the species in our lake. A detailed map of the habitat areas has been put together with the assistance of Aquatic Control, our own Bass Club, and the Lake Committee members. We assist with Heritage Lake maintenance crew to lower mechanical costs for lake security boats. We also provide lake security with a detailed checklist for continued boater and operator safety, including the running lights life vest, and any other safety issues that the lake security personnel require. Please continue to be respectful of these individuals who are on the water for your safety. Our committee was tasked and responded with a new rule book, as well as being engaged with the newly implemented operator test. A special thank you to the POA Board of Directors, Ken Rozelle, John Reedy, Rick Miller, Jim and Debbie Muhlenbein, Dave Granadier, and all the Lake Committee members. These changes, in our opinion, are necessary to ensure that Heritage Lakes continues to be a safe and pleasant recreation area for all the POA members to enjoy. Please review the 2021 rules prior to hitting the water this summer. Tests, fines, and loss of lake privileges are new and are included in the book for this season on the water. The operator test can be taken online as well as at 2 Lake Committee kiosk locations. I believe one is at the Marina and I believe the other one is still at the clubhouse, unless that has changed. But that was the 2 locations. So please take the test. It will be required, and it is required. We provide learn to water ski and wakeboard days for both children and adults. We provide all the equipment and instruction at no cost. Numbers of children whom have never had the opportunity to water ski or been on a boat sign up for these lessons and certainly have an enjoyable day. We sponsored and support the Bass Club's tournaments. We are pleased to announce that they will be continuing the very successful Kids Bass Tournament. The Bass Club has provided hundreds of fishing poles and Christmas gifts for lake children over the past several years, instilling a respect for the fishery and the health of the lake. We have a conduit to the POA board via our liaison, Mr. Steve Hampton, as well as a member of our committee and a member of the POA board, Mr. Tom Novak. Thank you to Steve and Tom for their continued efforts. As far as 2020, COVID could not stop the 2020 Feast and Ski event. Special thanks go to the organizer, Mary Petruzzi. And once again, it was one of the highlights of our past summer during this COVID time. I'm pleased to announce that the Feast and Ski and Fun is planned again for this summer. It is the Lake Committee's largest fundraising event, and we are pleased to announce that our volunteers have already started planning for one of the community's favorite days of this summer. This single-day event provides our committee with the operating capital to partner with the POA and provide funds to allow ideas to become realities. Sponsors who feel that this grassroots community type of event fits into their marketing campaign for 2021 have already reached out and set aside space to mingle with POA members. We continue to assist any way possible to keep Heritage Lake a safe and fun place to boat and live. Our Lake Committee ending balance for 2020 is approximately $25,000, with dedicated funds already noted of $10,000 for our agenda moving into March 2021. As a committee, since 2003, we have raised and contributed nearly $70,000 back into our lake and common properties. As the Lake Committee Chair, I would like to thank all of our previous and current members. Additionally, we as a committee would like to welcome all POA members to join our efforts and gain insight into our committee strategy for utilizing the funds for the betterment of our lake and community. Our spring meeting, subject to change due to spring break, will be March 24th, 2021 at 7 p.m. at the clubhouse as we start our 2021 campaign for Heritage Lake. Our meetings are always open to all members. Your suggestions and ideas will always be welcome. And a special thank you to the following POA and Lake Committee members, and my apologies if I leave anyone out: Beverly Hoops, Dave Granadier, Brian Alexander, Robin Alexander, Jason McClellan, Charlie Land, Phil McKinley, Dan Ream, Mary Petruzzi, Dan Teague, Harold Pato, Lois Napier, Kent and Ellen Stevens, Jim and Debbie Muhlenbein, Ben Fuchs, and the Heritage Lake Maintenance, and most importantly, the Board of Directors. Thank you for your time, and we look forward to 2021.
Kent, thank you very much for your report. Thank you for your.
Rick?
Yes.
Phil McKinley here. the Clean Water team operates as a subcommittee of the Lake Committee. Would this be a good time to make a few comments, or are you going to ask me separately, or did I miss it when I got kicked off the internet?
No, you're up now. Go ahead, Phil.
Okay, Kent did a good job of explaining the whole issue of the fishery. That's both for sport fishing, but also for predators and indicator species in the lake. And so that's one of the reasons the Clean Water team is particularly interested in the stocking, as well as supporting the sport fishery as well. For this last year, we did articles in the highlights for several months in the spring, with reminders of best practices from things from fertilizers and other activities around the lake. One thing that Aquatic Control didn't do that the previous provider, which was Commonwealth Biomonitoring, had done, was to look at water clarity. And so I took it upon myself to do a Secchi disc measurement of clarity of the lake, and found that it was the same as it was in 2016, which was a fairly positive 5.5 foot observation of the disc, which is better than many lakes locally. We continue to do windshield surveys. There are 2 members of the Clean Water team that regularly drive roads north of the lake, following the streams that feed toward the lake, looking for any changes in land use, any potential postings for changes that might result in different zoning and so forth. We again did the E. coli testing with thanks to Ken Rozelle for collecting the samples for us. That's the recommended test for safety of water for a wide variety of water contact activities. 4 sites were tested this year, and the results all came back very positive. So again, we're looking forward to monitoring lake conditions and putting out more reminders to people to do best practices to help keep the lake as healthy as it is and has been in recent years. Thank you.
Phil, thank you, and thank your group from the board, please, for all your hard work. And it's a very important job task you guys have taken on. Thank you so much. Long-term planning, Deborah Napier.
Hello, everyone. I'd like to report for 2020 long-term planning had no meetings due to COVID, but encourage all members to reach out, even if you want to suggest ideas. We would like to talk about communications, improving the website, email contributions through HLCS, telephone directories, highlights, mailers, discuss permanent POA cards, solar opportunities, common areas, shelters, parking, hiking trails, and possibilities of rentals. Members interested in talking about the community, planning initiatives, and leaving a footprint to be proud of can reach out to me at the POA office at any time, and hopefully meetings will resume at the clubhouse 3rd Wednesday, 7 p.m. Thank you for your input, and thanks to the board for implementing most of these projects throughout the year. That we now have a great marina, restaurant coming, new facilities around the lake, and the lake's looking beautiful. Thank you.
Deborah, thank you very much for your report. Thank you so much. And thank your group, please. Are you or April doing the neighborhood watch report?
I am, Rick.
Okay, you got it, April. Thank you.
Thank you. Afternoon, everyone. The Neighborhood Watch Group continues to work with the Putnam County Sheriff's Department in reporting and preventing crime. A huge thank you to the Putnam County Sheriff's Department for all they do for our community, and Kate Robinson for her help with the Facebook page. Although it's been a crazy year, it's been quite quiet one for crime. The 2020 Chili Bowl cook-off was a great turnout as usual. It was well missed this year, unfortunately. Hope to continue the event in the years to come. Neighborhood Watch sponsored and donated to the Nick Strain Band, along with many other sponsors. It was a great time and a great turnout. So thank you everyone who supported and continues to support the Neighborhood Watch. It does take all of us to do so. So please continue to be the eyes and the ears of our community. Please like the Heritage Lake, Indiana Neighborhood Watch Facebook page to keep informed and share information. Thank you.
April, thank you very much for your report, and also thank your group for all their hard work and efforts they had. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rick.
Next will be siltation, Dwayne Kelly. Welcome, Dwayne.
Okay, now you can see it. I'm unmuted now.
All righty, welcome.
Okay, Rick Hudson, I got a question for you before we go.
Okay.
I was asked as president of the Conservancy to give a Conservancy report, but I see I'm not on the agenda.
You're on right after siltation.
Okay, good enough. Thank you.
All right, buddy.
First thing I want to do, I want to thank the board for the very fantastic year that the board has had with all the projects and problems that they've had with COVID and so forth. I think you guys have done a fantastic job of handling that and getting the well-being of our community better. Okay, with that, I'll go on. I want to thank Deborah and April and Ken in the office. I have to deal with them sometimes, keeping track of where our money's at and so forth, and they're all very helpful. I'm ashamed sometimes to walk in and say, I need to talk to somebody right now, and they stop whatever they're doing and talk to me, which is, I think is fantastic. The members of the siltation committee are Jim Hazelwood, Ben Fuchs, Ron Kowalski, Ed Demerett, Jerry Wood, Tom Novak, and our board liaison is John Reedy. And I will say that probably our committee, as far as our committee projects are concerned, probably the only committee that COVID didn't affect this year, because we put a game plan out for the contractor to do, and he does it. So we don't have any interfacing with people in that part of it. So, but with that, our 2020 projects, again, we spent $40,000 cleaning out the north end in front of the beach area up there, which we've done now for about the last 4 years. We cleaned out Cove 15 out the feeder end where the infeed part of the cove is for $15,795. We did the East Fork Delta where the feeder stream comes into the lake. There's a delta that builds up there. The siltation pond doesn't catch all of it. That was $12,150 for a total cost of the year for $67,945. Now I want to go into Cove 15 just a minute. Representative of 7 property owners in Cove 15 approached the committee that they wanted to clean out around their docks and boat lifts. The siltation committee's policy is we will not clean out anything within 10 feet of a structure, boat lift, dock, or whatever. We don't want the responsibility of undercutting somebody's dock and it collapsing. So any of that work's done between the property owner and the contractor. Siltation, we had not used had all of our money committed at that time. They asked the siltation committee if we would clean out the canal, the channel, if they cleaned out as they cleaned out their docks and low boat lifts. We had the funds to do it, so that worked out. We worked with the property owners, and it made really good results for the siltation committee, those property owners, and also the health of the lake. We have one project already committed for 2021. The East Fork feeder stream from the siltation pond down to the lake. The contractor will be in there with these small barge, cleaning that area out again. There was a letter sent out to the 23 property owners that face or feed onto that stream, that we would have the contractor in there doing that. And if they wanted anything cleaned out, well, that would be a good time to do it. He would have his equipment there and should be a little less expensive than them having to get him come in and just clean out around one dock, because he would already be there. So that should work out well. Our next meeting is, we meet on the 4th, Thursday at 7 o'clock. Our next meeting is March the 25th. We would encourage anybody that wants to come. We would encourage anybody, I don't want to offend any of my committee members, but most of my committee is getting pretty close to senior citizen. And we really need some younger blood on that committee. Me being the most senior of the bunch, so. Okay, that's all I have on siltation. I will now put on my other hat and do my Clear Creek Conservancy. I would like to clarify one thing. It was earlier reported that the Clear Creek Conservancy had received a mandate from IDM. That is not correct. We did not receive a mandate. We received a letter from them, which I'll touch on as I go with this report. This report was put together for me by Doug Clodfelder, who is our state licensed treatment plant operator. He works with all the contractors daily, does all the put reports that have to be sent to the state. So he's on a daily basis. So Doug put this together for me. The wastewater treatment plant was last expanded in 1994. Curry and Associates designed the plant, estimated a 20-year population growth. It has been 27 years. The plant average design flow rate is 0.4 million gallon per day, with a peak flow of 1.2 million gallon per day. From 2003 to 2018, our flow rate averaged 72% of the design flow. In 2019, it was 118%. And was 114. On April 3rd, 2020, IDM issued a SIR ban early warning letter, which means we need to look for sources of infiltration, and because of population growth. Inflow filtration is broken sewer lines, water running in open manholes or manholes that are underwater. Those are the type of things there. And so we started looking to expand the treatment plant. We hired Echo Solutions to inspect and repair leaking manholes. We have found 4 major 6-inch lateral breaks with our sewer camera system. On September 19th, 2020, the board of directors hired Curry and Associates Incorporated to examine the system and complete the preliminary engineering report. Curry and Associates are recommending expand the plant by adding a 3rd oxidation ditch, a 3rd clarifier, and replacing the chlorine disinfection system with a UV disinfection. This would increase our design capacity to 0.9 million gallons per day with a peak flow of 3 million gallons per day. This should be the last treatment expansion Clear Creek Conservancy would need, figuring a 90% build out of the homes at 2,700 homes. Preliminary effluent implantation application has been sent to IDM. Cost estimates should be ready this spring, go out for construction bids sometime in 2021, and begin construction in 2022. These are all target dates, and anybody knows that when you're doing that big of a project that those dates might be hit, they might not, but that's the target date we have at this point in time to maintain the sewage treatment plant. I would also like to, again, please beg people, there's only two things that ought to be flushed down your stool. That's body waste and toilet paper. All the other stuff, the diapers and that kind of stuff that wrap up in the pumps, and we have to pull the pumps and get the impellers cleared, just as an over-the-head expense for Clear Creek Conservancy. I'm done preaching. Thank you.
Dwayne, thank you for your reports on both issues. And thank your Siltation Committee, please, for all their hard work and efforts they do. If it wasn't for that lake out there, we'd just have a mud hole. So thank you so much.
So Rick, before you move on from reports, do you want to dial back and see if Rick Stevens can give his?
I was getting ready to see Campgrounds. Rick Stevens, do you have a report for us, please?
Hear me now?
Yes, we do. Go ahead.
All right. Sorry about that. The annual campground site selection meeting will be held on Sunday, March the 7th at 1 p.m. at the POA office. We're asking any permanent campers returning that is not looking to relocate sites to not attend, and any new campers attending to only have one representative at the meeting. We're trying to reduce the number of people in attendance, and masks will be required for all who attend. The preliminary campground numbers show 46 permanent campers returning and many mid-season campers returning for 2021. Current numbers indicate the campground will only have 4 open lots for rent when the 2021 season begins. The 2021 Heritage Lake Campground camping season begins April the 2nd, 2021. The campground facility will open on March the 26th for unit placement and cleanup of lots. The Campground Committee for 2021 consists of the following. Of course, I'm the campground chair. Sean Pingleton is the assistant chair. Rob Morgan is the secretary. Rita Stevens is the treasurer. And Debbie Palmer is entertainment. We will be working close with the POA office, personnel, and campground managers to make this a successful and fun 2021 camping season. And thank you for your time.
Rick, thank you for your report, and thanks for the good work down at the campground. Keep up the good work, please. Thank you.
Rick, you went mute on us.
There, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Rick, thank you very much for your work at the campgrounds. Keep up the good work, please. Thank you. I want to ask at this time, is there any committee other than the election that have not reported that I might have overlooked? If there are, please speak up now. If not, I have Paul Forbes wants to comment before we get to the election committee. So Paul, you've got the floor.
Thank you, Rick. One thing I did not report on earlier, because I wanted to save it for its own content. There's been some of you know, and those of you who are viewing this meeting, we've been in contact with Sam's Restaurant Company. Well, it's probably been going on a year, almost a year now, and we've been talking to them about opening up a restaurant at Heritage Lake. These talks have been extensive. We've shared a lot. Most of that time has been through COVID. And whatever you read in the paper or whatever you hear on any type of media that you pay attention to is minute compared to what I know through having conversations with Ed Som. One of the positives that COVID has handed Heritage Lake is the fact that through Ed's dealing with COVID, we were fortunate enough to buy almost all the equipment from Ed because he had extra equipment from properties that he has closed down because of attendance in those properties in downtown Indianapolis. Couple things I want to clear up. One, somebody told me that there's been some type of announcement or somebody communicated on social media, which most of you who know me, I just get reports about that. I don't really look at it. I find that a lot of times there's unfactual information and negative information, and it's hard enough to keep going on some of these projects without having that filtering through my small brain. So I don't look at that. But I did hear a rumor that Sam's is backed out of the restaurant. It is a rumor. It is not a fact. There have been members calling me to find out if that was a fact, and it's not. And the last thing I want to report is that Ed and I have had a lot of conversations over the last year, and many of the conversations deal with just what he has to deal with COVID and how that's affected his life. And I'm going to be the first one to say, and Ed is listening to this right now, and I asked him to be part of this meeting just so that anyone who thinks I'm sugarcoating this, he's there. He wouldn't be there if he's not involved and if he's not willing to carry on these talks. And through my exposure to Ed, I have found him to be of highest character. What he has been dealing with, if you stood and talked to him personally, you would never see it. He's steady. He's never wavered from the day he told me he's committed to come to Heritage Lake. Now there's been a lot of things postponed, and that has to do with one thing and one thing only: COVID. I can report right now that we're in the final stages of supplying the community with a letter of intent from SOM Group. Once that letter of intent has been signed, then we will go in further with the entire lease package. So I'd like to thank Ed for staying with it. He's dedicated to this project, and what's going to happen in the future is unforeseen. We don't know when the COVID's going to let up. We don't know if they're ever coming back. We don't know a lot of things, but he's convinced that this is a good project for him. So that's my report. And thank you, Ed.
Well, thanks very much for the report, and thanks, Ed, for all your efforts, and we're looking forward to working out a partnership with you. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm looking forward to it. It's been a process, but we're committed to making that a long-term, really viable operation for the community and for our company as well, but definitely for the community. I have a lot of friends and relatives out there, and it's really exciting for us to be a part of it for the long term.
Well, thank you so much, and thanks for spending your day with us today. It just shows how committed you are to this project, and we're excited to get to work with you very soon.
Yeah, we want to be an integral part of everything that wraps around that lake. So, I mean, we want to know what's going on and be a part of helping in whatever fashion we can, and informed as well. So,
well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
With that, any committees that I overlooked, if they're here, speak up now or forever hold your peace, because we're going to move on to the election committee if no one's there. Jim and Deb Muhlenbein, I can't say enough for. They're the co-chair of the election committee, and I'll turn it over to you, Jim and Deb.
Rick, I'm in the conference room with Jim and Deb, and I'm going to turn my seat over to Jim for his report.
Thank you, Rick.
Good afternoon, everyone. Is this turn?
Hello, Jim. Welcome.
Okay.
Yeah.
First, Deb and I want to thank all 7 candidates for stepping up and committing to serve on the board of directors. Their willingness to support their community in this important capacity is greatly appreciated. Secondly, we want to thank the following people who supported us in preparing to meet the candidates and conducting the vote count. These would include the office staff, April Land, Deborah Napier, and Ken Rozelle, Rick Miller, Jim and Anita Johnson, Julia Prather, Judy Rozelle, and Arlene Richmond. 7 candidates had submitted paperwork to run for 4 positions on the board. The 3 candidates with the top number of votes will serve a full 3-year term. The candidate with the 4th highest number of votes will serve out the remaining 1-year term of the seat vacated in 2020. On Saturday, January 9th, we held a Meet the Candidates Day via Zoom. All 7 candidates participated. We asked prepared questions from the committee, which we had submitted to the candidates in advance so that they could prepare properly. We also included a few questions from the property owners who had emailed them in advance of the meeting. Recently, we verified the votes that had been submitted to date. There was a total of 391 ballots, representing 491 lots, submitted with a total of 367 signed valid ballots and a total of 24 unsigned or invalid ballots. Today, we finalized the verification of the additional ballots received and counted the votes. With all ballots verified and counted, we had a total of 384 valid signed ballots, representing 521 total lots. Of these, there was a total of 1,975 actual votes cast. We did not count any votes from the total 25 invalid or unsigned ballots. Now the results of the election. This is the most fun part. With 7 candidates running and 4 being selected to the board, here are the 4 candidates that received the most votes in order of 1st through 4th place. The candidate with 379 votes and in 1st place is Nina Stebbins. The candidate with 377 votes and in 2nd place is AJ Stafford. The candidate with 333 votes and in 3rd place is Summer Ramsey. These 3 candidates will serve a 3-year term. The candidate with 283 votes and in 4th place is Grant Feldhake. Grant will serve the 1-year term. Once again, thanks to all the candidates, the owners who took the time to vote, and the people who supported us in the election. Thank you.
Jim, thank you so much for the report. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I do want to take this time right now to congratulate Summer Ramsey, AJ Stafford, Nina Stebbins, and Grant Feldhake. Congratulations on the board. Thank you very much. Presentation of awards. Ken and Rick are going to be doing that. Ken Rozelle, you want to start with that, please?
Yes, I'd be glad to be honored to present these plaques, because being voted to serve on the board of directors at Heritage Lake should be an awarding experience. This community puts faith in each board member to act and decide what is in the best interest for this community. Some are simple decisions and some are difficult decisions, but these 3 board members have always had in mind what was best for the community. Each of these 3 board members brought something different to the board, all the while serving their terms with class and professionalism. Jim Johnson, AJ Stafford, Grant Feldhake have been part of many decisions that have been made for the progress of Heritage Lake, sometimes agreeing and at times not agreeing, along with being part of the biggest decision ever made at Heritage Lake, our new marina. Each of them has always been extremely professional and courteous while fulfilling their positions as board of directors. With that being said, on behalf of myself, the other board members, and the members of the Heritage Lake, we would like to show you our appreciation for the time you have dedicated to all of us. Two of these members have already been given their plaques, so they can hold it up and let the members show. First up, this gentleman has saved my behind many times. Right before a few of our meetings, when it looked like the meetings were not going to be live on YouTube due to something I probably did wrong. He was our technical guru, also helped with the office computer issues, and just was responsible for uploading all of our new system. Serving 3 years from 2018, 2020, this plaque goes to Grant Feldhake.
Thank you, Grant.
Secondly, this gentle giant brought different ideas and experience to the board. He was very instrumental in expanding our playgrounds, which added structures at Lincoln Hills Park, the Marina Playground, and the Campground Playground. He also had did a tour of duty of 3 years from 2018 to 2020, and that plaque goes to AJ Stafford. Finally, a long timer. I didn't say an old timer, said a long timer. This last gentleman had his hands on everything. His vocabulary is the reason I have a dictionary on my desk. But he is best known for bringing experience and, in his own words, austerity. Now, he used that word today, as the treasurer on the board. His financial wisdom brought comfort to the board during the past years. Well, at least most of the time. Thank you very much for your tenure on the board from 2014 to 2020, Jim Johnson.
Jim, thank you.
Rick, you're muted.
There we go. Is that better?
That's better.
Jim, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. We've become close friends over the last 6 years, but thank you for everything you've done.
I want to thank you too, Rick. You're the guy who talked me into this, so I appreciate it. And Forbes, together we ganged up and got you in. So there you go. Thank you, Rick.
All
It's
right.
all that austerity.
I also want to chime in real quick. I want to chime in real quick that Rick Huddleston also got me into this. So basically, this is all Rick's fault.
I just joined on my own, so.
I want to thank all of you for the hard work. This year, the board we had worked together and accomplished a lot. It was a very busy year. I don't know how we got all that amount of work done, but we did somehow. And thanks for all you guys. I appreciate it so much, so much. With that, I think if no one else has anything to say, we'll go to the forum. This is the time for the membership to ask questions, criticize. It's your time to speak at the annual meeting. We'll kind of do it one at a time. If anybody has anything to say, the first one, push unmute and start. We'll go from there.
I don't see any mute lights going off.
Okay.
Me.
Oh, there's Lois.
All righty, here we go. Welcome, Lois.
Thank you, and thank you for this meeting. It's wonderful. Lois Napier, 312 Mill Springs. And I want to thank everybody too. This is a wonderful community. Oh, I'm going to get choked up. But first of all, everybody does a great job. But Paul Forbes, thank you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. And you can tell, as Tom, that I hope we have good weather this summer because there's going to be a line around the marina waiting to get into the restaurant. And I believe that.
So do we, Lois. Thank you so much, and thanks for your hard
Everybody have
work.
a good year. Great.
Thank you so much. Anyone else? Anyone else? If not, I'll take a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I motion.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you so much. And in 10 minutes, can the new board members and the existing board members, we're going to have a meeting in 10 minutes to log into. And I think Ken has sent everybody the Zoom information to log in. So in 10 minutes, please be on there. It's 3:20 now. We'll look forward to 3:30. Thank you.
Thank you.